Most of us are massively overpaying for our cars. And so in this video, I thought it would be helpful to highlight 3 of the most important money things you need to know before buying a car, along with tips on how you can reduce the cost of having a car over the long run. Before we dive into this video, 80% of people who watch my videos are not yet subscribed. If you're one of those silent viewers, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. It helps me continue creating and putting out free content and improving my videos along the way. Let's get into it. Should I buy a used car or a new one? How many years old should the car be? How can I lower my insurance costs? What's the best way to calculate the total cost of ownership? These are age-old questions that exist when it comes to buying a car. Should I buy new or should I buy used? On one hand, a new car comes with several benefits. Not only is it more shiny and nicer to drive, but it's also seen as more reliable and safer. Plus, they usually come with a warranty, and if you time it right, you can get a good discount on the car. But despite all these, buying a new car is often still the less financially savvy option. Statistics show that after the first 12 months, a new car can depreciate by around 15 to 35%, and that depreciation keeps going up to 50% or more over 3 years. On the other hand, buying a used car can save you a lot of money in the long run, and the sweet spot for used cars is usually between 3 to 5 years old. At that point, the car has depreciated substantially at someone else's expense and will depreciate slower in the years that you have it. The downside, however, is that used cars may need more maintenance and repairs because it comes with wear and tear from previous owners. And this can really add up over time, but I'll come to some of my favorite tips on how to offset those costs later in the video. Number 2, factor in the all-in price. You can have 2 people buy the same car at the same time, but pay very different amounts for it purely down to the way they bought the car. The most common ways to buy a new car is to buy it outright, hire purchase, or a bank loan, at least, or a PCP. And depending on which one you choose, it can cost you thousands more or thousands less. To give you a high-level overview on what each of them are, the outright way involves paying the full price of the car on day one. So you don't have to worry about any payments or interest going forward. What you see when it comes to the car price itself is what you get. The second way is to buy a car through finance. And in the US, if you're buying it through the car dealership, this is often referred to as hire purchase. And with this, you pay a deposit for the car or a lump sum at the start, and then you borrow the amount that's left at a set interest rate for a set number of years. So if you're taking out the financing for 3 years, you'll pay the monthly payments for that car over the 3 years until the car is fully paid off. You can also opt for the straight personal bank loan in this option. And the rates you get through this are typically no other than what you get through a hire purchase through a car dealership. The third option is leasing a car. This is similar to renting. You make monthly payments to use the car, and then you return it at the end of your contract. With this option, you're only paying for the car's depreciation during the time that you have it, not as full value. So you provide your initial deposit, and then the car dealership will look at how much they think that car is going to depreciate during the time that you own it. Say $10K over the 3 years, you owe it. Then they divide that into monthly payments and add some fees and a bit of interest on top. The fourth option is the PCP. And with this, you decide your deposit amount that you want to pay upfront. The dealership provides a value or an assigned value on what they think the car will be worth at the end of your contract. And then both of those figures are added together and subtracted from the cost of the car. And what's left is divided into monthly payments. When the contract ends, you can either return the car, you can use that final assigned value to part exchange the car, or you could pay for that assigned value, assuming it's still what the car is worth to keep the car. The total cost depends on which of these financing options you choose, the length of the contract, the amount of your deposit, and which car dealership you go for. The price can vary between car dealerships because some of them could offer greater discounts or contributions than other. So it's worth shopping around. Third thing to consider is insurance costs. Insurance costs are often ignored when we're budgeting for a car. You go through the whole car buying process and you decide what car you're buying. And then you look at the insurance cost and you think, didn't budget for that. The good news is that you can get some good deals depending on your driving history, the car you're buying, where you live, and what insurance provider you're going for. Couple of tips. Firstly, shop around. Not just when you first get the insurance for a car, but every year after that, whenever it's time to renew. It costs an insurance provider more to lose you than it does to keep you. So tell them you've looked around, you found competitors offering the same cover but for less. Give examples of what other providers are offering and at what price, and act to negotiate your cover down. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.